Hi, everybody. It's Miss Goffis here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to come back to school today. I'm still feeling under the weather, but I was able to make this video for you to help you out with today's assignments. So I miss you all, but I'm hoping I get back soon and we can get back to our Zooms. I did want to tell you right now, too, that our last Zoom will be Friday, hoping that we are able to have it because we do have conferences the following week and there will be no Zooms. So just to let you know about that. I was also looking at your work yesterday, and y'all did very good not yesterday, on Tuesday's work. Y'all did very good with the missing variables. However, I didn't see a lot of the boxes drawn on your paper. So I really, really want you to get used to drawing those boxes and not just working out the problem. I want you to draw that whole part box. So we're going to go through a couple more of those today and talk about cowboy problems, which I'll tell you what those are soon. But again, make sure you are using the whole part box method. So here we have 54 plus V equals 145. So I have my box up here, and I also have a reminder over here about that for the addition, we have part plus part equals whole. So the whole is your big number. And then with subtraction, you always start with your biggest number. So again, that's your whole number. And then minus 5 equals 8 is your part and your part. So here with 54 plus V equals 145, we can label our problem first. So we have our part plus part equals whole. So we know our whole goes up top in this first box, 145. So that is our biggest number. That's what we're trying to get to. And then we have 54 as one part. And then we have our V over here. So instead of blanks today, I am going to have letters be our blanks pretty much, just so you get used to seeing some letters in math, because that does happen sometimes. They're called variables. So we have our V over here, and we need to figure out our V. And so when this happens, when we are missing a part, we are going to subtract. So we have 145 minus 54. So you have 5 minus 4 is 1. 4 minus 5, I cannot do that, so I have to borrow. And 14 minus 5 is 9. So my answer would be 91. So I'd say V equals 91. So I do a couple more. All right, so you have 87 minus S equals 62. So the first thing I'm going to do is label this math sentence. So I look over here and I see that with subtraction, I start with my whole and then part. So I'm going to do, my whole and then my part and my part. So my 87 is going to go up top, then my S and my 62. And again, when I do know my whole, but I only know one part, and I need to find my other part, I am subtracting. So 87 minus 62. 7 minus 2 is 5. 8 minus 6 is 2. So S equals 25. And say if you got confused and you put your numbers the wrong place, maybe you put, for example, you put 87 down here and 62, and you put S up top, and you said, oh, I need to add. So you added over here, and you did 87 plus 62, so that's 9. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 149. And you said, oh, S is 149. This is where you have to ask yourself, does that make sense? So if I look back and I plug 149 where that S is, it'd be 87 minus 149 equals 62. Now, just looking at that does not even make sense. It does not make sense that you're subtracting a 3-digit number from a 2-digit number and you're only getting 62. That would be a negative number in this case. So really just looking back at your problem saying, does that make sense? Will save you a lot of, or will save you from making mistakes. All right, then we have m minus 123 equals 543. So we have, let's see, our subtraction problem. So we have our whole and then our part and our part. And so we're going to write them in our boxes. We have our m in our whole box, and then 123 and 543. And again, when you know your two parts and you're finding your whole, you are adding it together. So 123, 543. So 3 plus 3 is 6. 4 plus 2 is also 6. And 5 plus 1 is 6. So our answer is m equals 666. And again, your subtraction problem always starts with your bigger number. So that is larger than 123 or 543. And then one more review problem. We have y plus 245 equals 342. Oh, give me 1 second. Okay. So we have our part plus part equals whole because it is an addition problem, and we're doing it like this problem up here. So we have y 245 and 342 as my whole. And then I need to use subtraction to find my y because I am missing a part. So we have 342 minus 245. 2 minus 5, I can't do that. So 4, borrow from that 4. So 12 minus 5 is 7. Then I jump next door. That 3 minus 4 also does not work. So 3 becomes a 2. I'm just borrowing. 13 minus 4 we have is 9. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So my answer will be y equals 97. All right, so those are just a couple problems reviewing what we did on Tuesday. So now I want to talk about cowboy problems. Yeehaw! So cowboy problems, we are going to, I call them cowboy problems because we are lassoing a number and throwing it to the other side. So here's my little cowboy right here, and he is lassoing a bull. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be lassoing numbers. So for this one, we have 145 equals 87 plus f. So if you notice, that equal sign is on the left side of the math sentence, when usually we see it on the right side. So we need to fix it. We need to rewrite it to make sure our equal sign is on that right side. So what we are going to do is we are going to lasso that 145. We are going to throw it to the other side of this equation with my equal sign. So we just rewrite the equation as it is. So 87 plus f equals 145. All right, so I'm going to talk through that one more time so we understand that. All right, so again, when you see a problem like this with the equal sign on the left side, you want to take it in the number and you're going to throw it to the other side. You're going to lasso it to the other side. And you rewrite the equation the same way. You don't touch the order of the numbers on the other side. So now we have 87 plus f equals 145. So that's our first thing we have to do. We have to rewrite it so we can see it correctly. Now we can label it. So it's an addition problem, so I'm going to do part plus part equals whole. So part plus part equals whole. I'm going to fill in my box, 145, 87, and f. And then I'm looking for my part down here, so I am going to subtract. So 145 minus 87. 4 becomes a 3, that 5 becomes a 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 3 minus 8 I cannot do, I have to borrow from that 1. 13 minus 8 is 5. So I know that F, running out of room, F equals 58. All right, so let's try another one. All right, so you have 342 equals G plus 213. And again, the first thing I see is that my equal sign is on the wrong side. So I need to lasso it and move it to the other side. So I'm going to do that first. That was my very first step. So I'm going to circle and lasso it to the other side. Again, this does not change. The order does not change. You just copy it down exactly the same. So G plus 213 equals 342. Then I'm able to label my problem. And we have addition problem, so it is part, oops, that color does not show up. We have part plus part equals whole. So we have 342 and G and 213. I'm missing a part, so I will subtract. And I'm going to do that. Oops. Click out of this completely. Okay. I am going to do that over here. So I have 342 subtract 213. Can't do 2 minus 3, so I have to go borrow. 12 minus 3 is 9. 3 minus 1 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So my answer is 129. So G equals 129. All right. Let's try one with subtraction. So we have 312 equals 514 minus R. Again, I see that equal sign, so I'm going to circle this. I'm going to do it a little bit smaller so I can fit everything. I'm going to throw it to the other side. Again, this does not change, so we still have 514 minus R equals 312. Then I need to label each part. So we have a subtraction sentence. So we are doing a whole minus part equals part. I'm going to put it in my box, 514, R, and 312. Oops. I do not know a part, so I am going to subtract. So 514 minus 312. 4 minus 2 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. So I know R is equal to 202. And for this one, 138 equals 420 minus K. Now let me scoot it up so I have room to write underneath. All right. So again, I see the equal sign over here, so I am going to lasso it. And I'm going to throw it to the other side. So I have 420 minus K equals 138. And again, you do not change the order of this problem. You just bring it right on down. So 420 minus K equals 138. Then I'm going to label. So I have whole, part, part. Because again, subtraction, I always start with my largest number. So 420, oops, 4, K and 138. I am missing this part, so I will subtract. So 420 minus 138. That 2 becomes a 1. That 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 1 minus 3 I cannot do, so I am borrowing again. 11 minus 3 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. So my answer is K equals 282. And again, that makes sense. It's not larger than the 420. It is smaller, so that is my correct answer. All right, so let me show you what you are working on for today. So Thursday, you do have your Thursday review. Again, there's 9 questions. Take your time, really read what it's saying. This has to do with money. Try your very best. This is multiple numbers, so be careful. Make sure you're lining them up in rows, or in columns, I mean, sorry. And then this is what you are mainly doing. We have our Cowboy missing variable problems. So it says solve for the missing variable in each problem. The first one has been done for you, and I think I do the first 2 actually, so I can fix that. The first 2 have been done for you. Remember, last of the problem, flip it if the equal sign is on the left side. So it says if, so you need to make sure that you're flipping only the ones with the equal sign on the wrong side. So here's my first example. So I have 75 equals 34 plus 2. So I circled it, I lassoed it, and I rewrote it right here. I then put my numbers in the box, or sorry, I labeled it. I didn't label it on here because it was kind of hard to type, but I did on my paper. And so then I put my numbers and letter in the box. I knew I had to subtract and found that t equals 41. If you'd like to solve it like this, how I have the example, you may. But if you say, no, the computer's too confusing, I want to use paper, that is also fine. Whatever you are more comfortable with, that's fine. Just upload a picture if you do it on paper. But if you do it on the computer, I need to see the box. If you do it on paper, I need to see the boxes. So either way, I need to see the boxes and you labeling the parts. And then here's my other example. We had 245 equals m minus 134. So I saw the equal sign is on the wrong side. I moved my 245 and I rewrote it right here. I put my numbers and letters in the box. I know that m is the whole number, is my biggest number. So then I'm adding my 2 parts to get m is 379. So you do only have 10 problems today. Remember, I put letters in there instead of blank spots. This last one is just an @ sign because you never know what tests are going to throw at you. It could be a slash sign, it could be a dollar sign, it could be a percent sign. So that just means, again, a missing number. And then you also have your Moby Max to do, 5 minutes, working on that fluency. I will be available by email and Dojo. I'll get back to you as soon as I can if you have any questions. So please let me know.